No
OnlyFans
clue.
reverses the
Oh.
planned porn ban after backlash from its adult creators.
Mm-hmm.
Were you
Mm-hmm.
shocked, Shannon?
I was not shocked. I thought that this was going to happen because the backlash has been pretty big. And what did they say? They said that they were able to secure a way to continue to, you know,
So
they
they were
basically
able
said
to.
that they were able to find a way around the banks so that they could keep their platform the way it is without like taking any damage to is that
Yeah,
basically what happened? Sure.
that was OnlyFans' position. Yes.
Yes. I wonder how that happened though.
So here's what I would say. I was not shocked because of how uh if you remember, if you go back to our podcast before this week, when we discussed the initial news that OnlyFans was looking to get rid of the filth as they would see it, the sex content on their platform. I said specifically that the message from OnlyFans wasn't very clear. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was like a bunch of articles being tweeted saying that OnlyFans
All
was
right.
doing,
Mm-hmm.
that it wasn't allowing sex work. But when I was looking for the actual OnlyFans policy, it was hard for me to find, what was the new policy and exactly. And I said they were probably floating this, which means,
Yeah.
they had this direction that they wanted to go in. And so, you leak a couple of stuff and then you see how, the reaction from it. And also the banking angle as well, where
Mm-hmm.
we have, banks for some reason in this country, and these financial institutions who are using their position and their monopoly to dictate morality, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is problematic and people should be discussing, but they're not because porn. So I said all this last week. Wasn't shocked, but was kind of surprised that this turn happened this quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Super quickly in less than a week. But I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised though at all that it happened. One, because if they were to, I think that if they were to actually go ahead and put a ban on sexually explicit content, I think that their platform would take a huge hit, to be honest. Like, I just don't think that it was feasible for them. Like, I know, like, I know that they were in a position with the banks or whatever, and it wasn't like, maybe they thought it wasn't going to be sustainable for their platform in the long term, but I also don't think that banning explicit content would be uh um good for their platform in the long run either, because like I said, that's what it's used for mainly. Probably 90% of the content is sexually explicit, so it just doesn't make sense to me that they would actually ban it.
So one thing I wanted to say is, um, do you think so? Given all the information that we have now,
Mm-hmm.
which do you think was the actual factor in OnlyFans initially trying to move in the non-porn direction? Banks, financial institutions pressuring them, or kind of wanting to be, or OnlyFans wanting to be disassociated from pornography? Because I say this because porn is kind of that industry where it's very weird, right? It's a billion-dollar industry. Most Americans consume it,
Mm-hmm.
yet it is still this no go for advertisers, and so
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to be associated. Mainstream advertisers, they don't want to be associated with pornography, even though we have all of this data and information that shows that damn near what 60-70% of Americans watch it. So like,
I
which
think
one do you think was the deciding factor?
I think it was definitely them not wanting to be associated with pornography. If it was 100% pressure from banks, I feel like it would be a lot harder for them to kind of reverse the decision as fast as they did. So I feel like it's definitely their image.
I
Definitely.
agree. Me and you
Mm-hmm.
see eye to eye on this one. I said the same thing. I said if this was like a banking thing, or like a financial, like a financial, institution problem, why would they change their minds?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
if you if you think if you don't like the porn stuff, if you think, yeah, you know what, you have to get rid of the porn stuff because it's making it hard for us to get advertisers. That doesn't change,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but your decision changed. And so
Yes.
for me, it leads me to believe that, yeah, you kind of wanted to get it. And look, I understand it though. If I create a platform right? Super dope concept, great infrastructure. I don't know how I would feel if it became associated with porn. Like when you hear OnlyFans, what do you think? You think of
Porn.
porn?
That's
Yeah,
it. That's it. That's the first thing.
Give me 1 second. Somebody just buzzed me. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Shannon. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, you can still. All right, I'm back. My bad. Yeah, my cat food came. I was not missing that. So, oh yeah. So I think before I left, I was kind of talking about yeah. So when you think about of kind of what would be the factor that caused this policy proposal and policy reversal, it would have to come from the OnlyFans side of the equation, because, like we said, if it was from the banking perspective, nothing changed on their side. If it was, we don't want this content because it's hard to get advertisers and we don't think we can make money, so we're not fucking with it. And so until you change it, we can't really do a business with you, right? This would have to be an OnlyFans thing as far as not want to be associated. And I think I left off saying, if I created a platform, right, great, and if OnlyFans has a phenomenal interface, right?
I haven't been on it, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a phenomenal interface, right? So example, let's say if we wanted to have an OnlyFans for the podcast, right? What we could do is we could have it where there's like tiers for people to pay for. It's like pay. Have you used Patreon?
Yes, I have used Patreon.
Yeah, so it's like Patreon, just slightly different. So like the tier pricing, you have that, but you also have pricing for DMs as well. So like if you wanted to sell like a special video, or in our case a special episode where people can open it in their DMs for like $5, you can do that as well. So like interface wise, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. If I created that OnlyFans and then it became synonymous with pornography, I could see me having a problem with that. Like people are making the argument that OnlyFans should be great for the sex workers because sex workers actually, made OnlyFans what it is, which is true. That said, there is an other side of the equation though, because the person that creates the platform, you have a vision for it. And once a stigma is attached to your product, it is hard to shake off. And so like the fact that we all assume OnlyFans means porn, I can see being the creative OnlyFans being very uncomfortable because you didn't sign up for this being a spot for pornography. That's not why you create OnlyFans. You wanted it to be for artists and musicians and creators, but now it is associated with pornography. And here's the thing, because of that association, it will keep people who are or who were your initial target, artists, musicians, YouTubers, it will keep them away from OnlyFans because of the negative connotation. That will happen in some cases. And then you have other people that won't care. So I understand the OnlyFans perspective as to maybe why you wouldn't want pornography on your site. That said, though, I do think at the end of the day, this is kind of a decision that was determined by the dollar. And so once there was like this realization that, wow, all of these people seem to be leaving, yeah, this is bad business for us. Let's kind of circle back and change, trying to get rid of the sex workers from our platform.
Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat the last part of what you just said. You froze for a second.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I understand that money was probably the deciding factor. And once they saw all these people leaving, they were like, you know what? This is bad for business. Let's kind of go back to accepting these sex workers on our platform, even if we deep down don't like these people.
Yeah, I think that's the only choice, because like, even if because I don't really think that much interest. I mean, you'll have some like YouTubers and musicians and stuff like that using it, but I just feel like it's definitely not going to be as lucrative as it was if you take that element away from it.
Do you know any women with OnlyFans?
Do I know anyone with OnlyFans personally? I don't think so. I might, but I might not be aware of it, but not that I know of.
If you were assured that you could make, I read a story that some nurse, she quit her job and now she's making $200,000 a month on OnlyFans.
But the thing is that like, I feel like, are these people like showing their full face? Because like I would want to be like 100% anonymous. Like I would not want people to know it was me. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. That's the only problem that I have with
So
that.
wait, you'd only do it if you had an Obito mask on?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that though. There was somebody that came across my timeline. Yeah, and people have to stop. This is a separate conversation, but there needs to be kind of Twitter etiquette as far as like retweeting porn during like morning hours. Like, come on, man! It's
but
my
I mean, it
timeline.
might be morning hours for you, but it might not be morning hours for someone else, depending on
That's
where
a
they
great
are.
point. That's a great point. I totally didn't think about that. It's just like, yo, come on now. But so there's people that their identity is not shown. Only problem though is I think to like be on OnlyFans to like, collect money, you have to like prove that it's you. So you have to send so the public won't know. But
okay.
OnlyFans
Oh,
has
but you have to use your like real name and stuff on like for like registration purposes.
Well,
like,
because they're sending out money.
I mean, but that's fine. But like, I just wouldn't want the public
to know. Yeah, I got you. But my original question was, I was reading a story about a nurse who, she was a nurse. She quit her job, and now she makes $200,000 a month on OnlyFans. I was going to ask you, like, if you were guaranteed that amount of money, because most people, male or female, they're never going to see that. Like, I was reading a story like the average OnlyFans person brings them like $100 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be like really like, you have to be like one of the lucky ones, I guess.
Yeah, it's luck, it's hard work, it's promotion, is
And I hope I hope people are being smart with that money, because you know what I mean? Like the thing that's weird about content creators is that your money isn't constant, you know what I mean? And so you have to like learn how to be smart with that, like take the money you have and, do other things with it. Because you never know when like one day you could go from having, as many subscribers as you have to having like not as much engagement as you need to make that money again. So it's a rolling game.
Is there a dollar amount? I'm trying to finally get to my question. Oh yeah. So I was asking you if you were guaranteed to make that amount of money, right? So you're not the struggling OnlyFans creator. You kind of can get, like, I was able to guarantee you're gonna get $200,000 a month. OnlyFans. Now, I'm pretty sure she's showing her face though. Like,
pretty sure
we know it's you.
It's hard for me to imagine somebody making that much and like you don't know who they are. Like, yeah. Or like they're like, so yeah.
Okay. Would you do it, or would you consider it? 200,000 a month.
Guaranteed. I would consider it. I would consider it because that's a lot of money.
Same here. This is why I don't judge girls on OnlyFans, because
that's a life-changing amount of money. Of course I would do it. What? I don't care.
Well, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying I would consider it, because
I would. Yeah.
Well, I thought you just said, Shannon. Of course I would.
Yeah, I would. I would do it for 200 if I was guaranteed to make $200,000. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No question.
And this is why I can't get mad at women for being on OnlyFans, because, and of course, I get the whole, like, if you're like a moral person or you think porn is bad, and like, excluding those people, the reason why I can't get mad is because it's like sitting on a gold mine and asking somebody not to use it, or like having superpowers but saying don't use your superpowers, right? Like, if you're an attractive woman and you're working at this job that don't pay you much, and there's like this avenue where you could potentially make $200,000 a month, like, just because you're attractive and you fucking on screen, I get it.
Yep.
I totally
get it. I'm not knocking. Listen, I don't judge anybody, and I'm not knocking anybody for that.
I get it. So the last thing I want to ask you about the OnlyFans stuff: what do you think the creator should do? Because if I'm somebody who was on OnlyFans and then I went through this entire debacle, would I continue being on OnlyFans? Sure, but I would absolutely be trying to diversify my fan base. Like, this should be a lesson to you. First, you watched it happen with Pornhub. You watched it happen with OnlyFans. you should absolutely be. And there are sites that are actually dedicated to sex work. I think the appeal of OnlyFans was kind of it was like this ambiguous website, and so even though you had OnlyFans, people couldn't assume you were doing like porn. Versus if you went to like these other sites, is in the title that you're selling yourself. So maybe that was the appeal, but I would assume that this might happen again. Like
Yeah.
if someone shows you who they are, you kind of have to believe them. So
Mm-hmm.
you built your fan base on OnlyFans, continue with it. I got you. But you should absolutely be opening up a site on one of these other OnlyFans like websites, using that to build your platform so that you will never be beholden to one platform. Now it's easier said than done, because like people have tried to do that with like YouTube, and it's very hard.
Yeah.
Twitter, like you have these social media companies. In the case of OnlyFans, it's not social media, but it's a company. You have these companies that kind of get like this large share of the market, and it's hard to like diversify your audience when your audience is on one platform. Because if I'm paying for your content, I don't want to be all over the place, like on OnlyFans, but then also on like this other
Yeah.
website, and then there's other website. No, like I would like for you to remain on OnlyFans where all of my porn is at.
But if somebody, so what you can do is you can try to like, suss out other platforms and try to see like where, what platform would work for you if you did have to move off of it one day. But, if you have a loyal fan base, like if you're making $200,000 a month, people really like your page. So if you tell people where you're going, I'm pretty sure a lot of them will follow you. Hopefully.
I'm gonna start an OnlyFans as soon as my Obito mask comes in the mail. So if you see a black man with, I'm gonna stop playing like that for somebody to do it and people think it's me. So it's not me. It's not me. Yeah, I don't have the confidence. If I was confident in, for lack of a better phrase, my performance skills, but no, I have no. I was reading up. This is the last thing I'm saying on this. I was reading an article. I think it was not an article, a book. I think it was Jenna Jameson's biography. You know who Jenna Jameson is, right? She's like this huge porn star in like the 90s. I was reading her book. I think it was her book. I don't remember, it's a while ago, but I was reading about like what like it takes to be like a male performer. It is way more like stressful and work for the guy.
It is.
Like
It takes
more.
way more work for the man to come off as appealing. You know what I mean?
But even to like just perform, like
Yeah.
getting an erection with like all these people around you and these lights and on demand. Like it's not when you feel like it. It's like yeah, nah. That's why they'll be all on Blue Chew and all that other stuff. But yeah, so shout out to all the sex workers. I know y'all was panicking. I don't hold any ill will toward y'all, but this should be a lesson. Don't trust any of these people. Yeah. So